Welcome back to 0.5%. This is episode 18, Weekend Research. In this episode, we'll be going over the news for the past week. I've taken a lot of screenshots of news headlines on a day-by-day basis just to see how things are changing. I want to take a look at where the entire market is sitting at currently. So that'll be the S&P 500, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. Compared to where the market's sitting at, where the moving averages are sitting at, where in the past has it looked like this before, and what happened then. And then the final part, we'll go over another trade that I completed this week. It was an interesting one. It was actually a swing trade. I bought into a position towards the end of the day. It was getting close to closeout. I took a look at the daily chart and decided to hold on to it, and it turned out well. But I don't think I can do that anymore, and I'll get into it why on part 1 and part 2 of this episode. So as always, thank you for watching, and let's get into it. Let's jump into it. I want to start off with some screenshots of the news that I've taken throughout the week. You can see on each screenshot, for example, this here on the left, it's got the date, 2025, April 30th, and then that's the timestamp. So I took this one at about 9:50, and then I took this one at about 1:30. And the reason I've started taking screenshots throughout the week is for a couple reasons. One, there's been some headlines that I've found interesting or entertaining and wanted to talk about. You can see the top one right here. Kid Rock urges Americans to invest now ahead of Trump's economic shakeup. And then there's some other things that are interesting. Like, for example, a lot of these headlines get updated as new news comes out or the market changes its progress. Like, for example, on 4:30, this line right here by, I believe that's MSNBC, the Dow drops more than 500 points as sell-off intensifies following negative GDP data. Something like that will update throughout the day on FinViz News. Like, I don't know if there's an example in this next screenshot, but we'll definitely see one. For example, if it goes to 600 or if it goes to 400, they'll correct that headline. And it's kind of interesting to see the progress, but you wouldn't really be able to do that if you didn't have like a screenshot of the news at that time. And then the last reason, most importantly, is I've been making this hypothesis of where we're going, which will be the topic of this video. So starting on like April 30th, Kid Rock's out there encouraging people to invest, and I thought that was just funny in general because it's true. Like these massive market corrections, I think I had a weekend research a while back where, it was like a headline of Trump signals to investors, now's the time to get rich. And I looked at his last presidency, how that went. I think it was first year in, it was a short recession and then 3 years of great growth. Let me see, was there some other ones in here I wanted to see? Trump's tariffs are causing complete reshuffling of the global economy. I wish I had some more screenshots of the heat map, but that's also really interesting to watch. And I've taken a couple, mostly to post as my thumbnails. But yeah, so the gold standard, we talked about gold a little while back, and actually I do need to recap on something else too. So we talked about gold and it like hit its all-time high. I'm gonna have to go back and see how it's sitting now. Nvidia stock gets a rare sell call. We talked about Nvidia on a couple episodes ago. One correction I need to make though, in the last research video I did with Eli Lilly and Novo, I'm not 100% sure about what they do. I claim that they one is like the name brand for Ozempic. Eli Lilly, the producer, manufacturer. I'm not sure what the right term is for that. And Novo being the off-brand. I didn't mean to portray that like that's all they do, if that came across that way, or if that's really what they do at all. It's what I think's going on. And I saw from, like the articles like Eli Lilly, weight loss management, stuff like that. Like, so definitely take everything I say, like I said it in my last video, with a grain of salt. Do your own research. I'm just spitballing what I think I know. So I'm going to bring in a couple more screenshots from the day. So this is now 4:30 at what time? At about 6 o'clock. And Meta blows out earnings, shows why investors shouldn't sweat a boost in AI spending. This is also very interesting. So I was doing a lot of comparisons of what the market looks like now to when has it looked like this in the past. And I also have a screenshot of the TQQQ Pro NASDAQ index shares on this day, but I could just show you on the Yahoo chart that there was these massive swings towards the end of the day, and I was like, what is going on? And it was all these earnings coming out, and I was like, is this really the market turning around, or like are we just taking a breath? Like, are people going to be impressed by this and then we go back down? And it kind of looks like that to me. I'll show you on the chart later, but April always seems like it's gone up for the last couple of years, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so Meta, Microsoft reports. There was a big boost this day. Actually, I can pull you up the screenshot quicker than I can the chart. So I believe this was that, yeah, 4:30. And what time was this one? So this was after hours. This was about 4:45 my time. But yeah, look at this up run at the end of the day. I think I caught some of this in my trading. Maybe just this part, because I don't like to trade at the end of the day. But then look at the wicks on these candles and the body of some of these ones. This massive wick down. This was all after hours when these earnings were coming out, and I screenshotted all this, and I was screenshotting the news because I was going to try to figure out. I was like, what is going on? And then, yep, sure enough, all these articles came out. So this one is also from 4:30. In more news, like just the craziest things happening this week. U.S. and Ukraine signed agreement on access to natural resources. I don't know what's that gonna do. It's definitely gonna put us in Ukraine, and then have Russia maybe a little more uptight about going over there. I don't know how that's gonna affect our market, but Meta, Microsoft reports lift AI stocks. U.S. stocks finish higher. I want to get another one of those numbers, like the 500-point sell-off. So yeah, here we go. MSNBC, Dow rises more than 100 points. So you saw here at the beginning of the day, Dow drops more than 500. So that means it actually made a 600-point recovery. And just seeing a 100-point headline, you're like, oh, that's okay, I guess. But knowing that it had to come up 500 in the first place, you're like, whoa, it actually did make a big move today in general. All right, so I got another screenshot here from May 1st. U.S. weekly job claims increased more than expected. So this is early in the morning. Like, it sounded negative to start off, but then look at the next headline: stock futures jump after Microsoft and Meta earning beats. U.S. stock rally hits its 8th day. So this is also interesting. I'm talking about where the market's potentially going to go. What does the chart look like now, and what has it done in the past when it looks like this? And in the video that I'm going to make, my next video reviewing one of my past trades is actually a swing trade that I did during this 8-day rally, and I thought it was appropriate for midweek. Yesterday I considered it, and then I zoomed out right at the end of the day, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna get out. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm actually making the research videos first this time, and I'm gonna do my trade video later this weekend, because I want to see a little bit more news, and maybe if my predictions about not holding over the weekend, I think we're going to go back down, is true. So I got a couple more here. S&P heads for its longest winning streak. This is May 2nd at noon. Stocks jump as tariff shock fades. Like, it sounds like, oh, we're recovering. We're gonna get out of here. S&P 500 eyes longest winning streak in over 20 years. Dow jumps 500 points on solid job reports. A lot of good news here, but I think we're going down. And let's see. This one is May 2nd at 4 o'clock. S&P 500 books longest win streak since 2004. Dow rallies on job reports. Stocks rise for the second week as tariff shock fades. I don't think this is just about the tariff shock fading, and it's going to tie into the news headline that I saw today. Let's see. I took a screenshot of this news headline. S&P 500 wipes out losses from Trump's tariff historic winning streak. Pretty interesting. I went and checked the charts, and we are at a pivotal point on them, but I think the pivot's going to go down, like I said. Let me see. I got one more from May 2nd. In Wall Street's epic comeback, unsolved market mysteries abound. Trump's April tariff revenue topped $17 billion. It all seems decent to me. And let's take a look at the charts. All right, you can see first how the market ended on Friday. Pretty positive. Almost every sector is up, except for fixed income, corporate, and the broad market. I don't even know what is in broad market. Aggregate bonds. Interesting. Is this broad market? All right, so let's take a look. I'm always in QQQ, so I guess we can start there. All right, so I have the daily candlesticks open. Let's just run through what we see right now. We've got price touching the 200 moving average. 200's over 50, over 20, but blue is in between 50 and 20, and my blue is a 10 period. So we've got 200, 50, 10, 20. RSI is trending up, and it's pretty strong already. The MACD is trending up. It's almost become positive, and there's a pretty decent gap from 15 over 30. All right, so I'm going to just scan through just to show you that the S&P 500 is pretty much in the same position, almost touching the 200, above the 50, 10, and then 20. RSI, it's looking strong and trending up. The MACD is a little different. Let me check that out. Yeah, so for the NASDAQ, it's almost back to zero. The S&P 500 in general has a little bit more to go, particularly with its 30. And then I think I have the Dow Jones index here. And then the Dow's even more. And I think that's typical that, there's more volatility in the NASDAQ. It's always, or usually always, outperforming the rest of the market. Like, we've seen that on my weekend research videos with barchart.com. All right, but before I start comparing it to when this has happened in the past, we're getting close to 15 minutes, and I don't want all those issues with my video editing. So I'll see y'all on part 2.